Hi team, welcome in next video of Postman. So in this next second video, like we will be discussing more about the Postman. Like we have a first video in which like we explained most of the things like in a detail, like what is the Postman, how we are using, what are the features, and how we can test the RESTful APIs in a Postman. So we have still few things left, so we will be continuing in this video for the Postman. Okay, so what we discussed on the last video, let's quickly see that. After that we will be continuing on the next chapter. So in the last video, like we already have shown you like how to download, how to install the Postman, how we can use the get request, and how we can create the common variables, and how all the things are working, like for the collection, for the test cases, for the automation testing, for the debugging. So we have explained you all these things in the first video. So every part of the post, when I explained you, like you can see the UI. So all the part of UI, what is like new tab, what is history tab, what is collection tab, what is request tab, and how we are putting the URLs, how the send button is working, and all the things. So I already explained all the things in the first video. So if you wanted to see, so you can quickly go through that first video, then we will be continuing in the next video. So I already explained what is the runner, collection, request tab. So all these things already have been explained. I already shown you the get API call, how the get API call is working, how we can configure that. So all things I already have shown to you. Okay, this all the things, like how we can create the variables, what are the importance of the global variables, what are the importance of the environmental variable, and how we can create a different environment for development, staging, and production. That I already explained in last video. Okay, so if you can, like if you are interested, you can go on back and see that video. So these things already have been explained very well, so you can go and watch previous video. So like in the second part, so welcome in the second part. So here we will be discussing about today, like how to create a collection that we already have seen. So we will be seeing most of it, like in the last video I had executed one get API. Here I will be trying to execute post and delete APIs. Okay, so that part we will be including. Apart from it, like collection runner. Okay, so runner, you already know, like we will be having some test cases that we can automatically execute here in the Postman, and through the runner basically. So we will be seeing that how we can run the test cases here in the Postman. Okay, it's not too much difficult, and it's too much useful for automation testing and for the QA perspective. And how we can import and export the collection, how we can import export the environment, how we can fork the like collection, and how we can create a monitors for the APIs, and what are the importance of it. So that all we are going to discuss in this video. Okay, so moving ahead, like how to create a collection that we already have shown. So I think you all pretty much aware about it. This is our Postman window, if you already have seen. So these are the collections. Okay, so in the last video we had created this Technways collection. Okay, so in this collection we had added one get API. Okay, so that was working properly on the last video. I have shown to you this. Okay, so this is the get API that we had added. We will be adding some more APIs here, like for post and delete. Okay, before that, what we need to see, test collection and run. Okay, so how we can import export the collection, and how create is fine, like we are knowing currently how to create, how to add the APIs, and how to execute the APIs. Okay, so the next part is like how we can export it. Okay, so this is our collection. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to click here. We will be getting a multiple options here. So if you can see an export option, see here is the export option. So just click on it here, it will, while you clicking on this particular, like selecting the version, and after selecting the version you will be clicking on the export, so physical file will get exported here below. See, collection. Okay, so this file will get saved anywhere in your location, whatever you choose. So what you further need to do, just give this particular file to any of your team member, so he would be able to import this particular file from here. While clicking the import, he would be able to select the that physical file. He will be importing that file, and the same collection will get created in his PC and in the same workspace. Okay, so this is the advantage of importing exporting. Like if we are not able to share the workspace with the employee or with other colleagues or with other working members, so rather than sharing the workspace, we can just export the API, export the collection, and we can share that collection with our colleague. Okay, so this is the advantage. And the second thing that we can do here apart it, like if we have anyone in our workspace, so what we can do, we can fork it any API, any collection. So we have this API. Okay, we have this collection right now. So see here the fork means whatever the changes are here, like if you are aware about the git. Okay, so in a git, like we were creating the feature branch. Okay, so this is the same kind of concept. Whatever the API's request response body is saved within this collection, all will be kept as it is when you are forking this particular collection. So what will be happening, like new collection will get created based on this particular collection, and whatever the changes will be happening or will be like updating, that will get be only updating inside the forked collection. Okay, this collection will be like same as it is, and it will not be impacted by the changes. Okay, so we can do this, like just click on this fork, and you can give the name of your new collection. What is the like new everything, anything, like whatever the name you wanted to give, and new collection will get created from this collection. Okay, so this is important whenever like your colleagues is working in your space. Okay, in your workspace. So rather than making them a changes in this collection, we will be like preferring to create a new collection from this, and we will allowing them to make the changes on that particular collection. Okay, so this is the fork concept for this. And moving ahead, what else? Share basically the same is like if we wanted to share this collection with other workspaces, so we can share. But personally I don't have any other workspace created here, or I'm not connected with any other workspace, so I would not be share this particular. If we wanted to generate a public link publicly, if we wanted to share this collection, so that we can also do here. Okay, moving ahead. So this is the like save to postman test collection. Okay, so this is the collection, basically collection that we already run our thing. Okay, how to run the test cases, this is the important one for the QA perspective. So how we can run this runner, so there are two. Okay, so that is, so how to run the test cases, like currently I have only one API, but in case of QA, in case of API testers, in case of real-time development, we may be having like more than 100, more than 50, more than 200 APIs. Okay, so rather than going and clicking and verifying each and every APIs, what we will be doing, that we will be creating one um, test case for each API, or we will be creating runner, or means auto execution script for those APIs, and this will automatically like get verified, and we can also schedule it. Okay, like we will create one collection, we will be creating a generic script, we will verify it once, and if every day we wanted to verify it without touching a single API, without any human intervention, so that we can also do. Okay, so basically runner is like getting used for um, creating the automation test cases. Okay, So same way, like you will require to create some script, and you will be putting some hard code values as a result, and once like the API gets executed, if that condition is getting met, so that whatever the test case or API is there, that will be like considered as the pass. Okay, so like currently I have only one API, so I will be showing you with this API only. But if you have a multiple validations, multiple test cases, so that you can definitely put here. Okay, so how can, like, so see here the test type is here. Okay, so earlier like there would not be anything here. This way it will be looking like a blank, the same way and the same way. So this thing also be blank. So what we will need to do, like we will need to create one test case here. Okay, so test case, basically if you go to this Postman learning portal, so you would be having a clear cut page like how you can create the test cases. Okay, so see here, this is the test script examples. Okay, for the Postman, this is learning tutorial for Postman. So same way, like we will need to write some JavaScript code here. Okay, and that after execution the API, it will be verifying the code, and if the code is getting met with the condition, so it means like the test case gets passed. Okay, so let's put it, so we can put this same way, like one test case, this one is a one test case. We can, so what this test case is saying, after executing that API, means this API B should be getting this status code, 200 status code. Okay, so response.to.have.status code is 200. The same way we can put the second test case. Okay, we can also put some examples here, like same way, pm.accept.json.id to have.length of 1. Okay, so if the condition is getting met, then in that situation we can put this. So like we can test the API for the status code if we have any particular ID value, like if we are executing this API, so we are getting user ID. Okay, so we can put the condition like user ID should be greater than 0. So that thing we can also put here in the test cases. So after this, after same way, like we can put another test case. Okay, so now two test cases are there. So what we need to do, how the runner is working. So test cases are there. Now let's save it. Okay, it's got saved. What now further we need to do? See here. Okay, so no. Yeah, run. So see, this is the runner only. Okay. So we need to click here. So we need to verify only one API. We also have only one API, so we cannot do more than one. So this one is, and iteration, how many times you want to execute this. Okay, so that you can also put here delay and everything, whatever the configuration is the same, so we can just run it. See, two test cases were there and all two are passed. See the result, both are passed. Okay, if we see the view results, so both test cases are passed. Okay, so same way, like we can create test cases for other APIs. If we have a if we have any create, if we have any put, we have a delete, so we can just put the mock details, and we can just run this API, and it will validate that whether the API is working properly or not. So most of the cases, like development or developer or QA requires to just check that whether the API is up or not. Okay, so rather than going and clicking in each API and checking that whether the API is up or not, so it is going to be a difficult task. So rather than going to doing that, like just put or create this automation script and put there in the Postman, and it will automatically validate your result. Okay, so in the last video, like I have explained one get API. Okay, so just go to next. I also explained you the test cases, so that is well and good. Let's move next and create one post API. Okay, so let me check whether I have anything for the post. So this is my already created API. So I already have a video. I already have given the detail on this particular video. Means this one is also getting created on the same concept, like I had created a video in the .NET Core API, Web API. So you can also refer that for creating this API. So we'll need require a post. So let's copy the same. Base UI is going to the same, right? So just copy it. We'll change the method name. API/user get user details. So what we can do here is the post create user. Create user is a post. Okay. We'll verify that before calling whether it is working or not. Control V. Okay, this is enough. Okay. And what else is required for us? Since it is a post, so definitely we will require some post means input data. So we are creating user, so we will be required to have the request body. So inside the request body, what we will require, whatever the test data whatever the data we wanted to put in database, or we wanted to put for creating the user. So we can check the format, what the format is here for this. This is the format is there. Let's copy the JSON format. This is the same format like whatever the input parameter we are taking here. This is the create CRMS user, means this is the same API which we are going to call. So whatever the format is here, function f12, see first name, last name, country, mobile, email, package ID. So the all these value we will need to put. Okay, so just we can go here JSON, and we copied already. So let's verify. First name, last name, country, mobile, email, package ID. First name, last name, mobile, country, mobile, email, package ID. This is the request, right? This is the request for this particular API. So whatever the fields required inside the request, that all fields we will need to put. Okay. So we need to give first name. So let's give a first name age Ankit, last name Ankit, anything like such. Let's Ankit Tripathi. Okay, country, let's take USA. Mobile, it's a number, so we can give 9876442. Okay, email ID is a string, so ankit@fh.com. Okay, package ID, package, I think this is the default configuration, so we can put 102. It's a foreign key, I think, for the package table. So this is the data, and this is the URL. This is the data we are going to submit. No authorization, I did not enable authorization here. We have, but I did not enable, so that we can easily verify all this. And this is the get this. Okay, so this type is also we will need to update. So this is the post. Okay, so firstly let's go here and validate whether it is working or not. So we cannot submit the data from here. Try it out. No, we can submit it. Okay, so Satyam Singh, country, IND, mobile, age. If it is working, then we will verify from there. Okay, gmail.com, package ID 102. So let's execute it from here first. Okay, so it's created. You can see the user ID we got, and status code is 200 means successfully executed. Okay, so means we are able to execute this create if it's up and running. So let's go to the Postman. Okay, the same format we given the API, we given the body input parameter, data type is JSON, so we put that, we filled all the value, and let's execute this. Okay, so that was the 14 you have seen here. So after the 14 new user ID is created, that is 15. Status code is 200 means it's working. So this way, like, we can hit the post type of APIs. Okay, if you wanted, let's use delete also. Hmm. No. Let's, this one is a post, so let's keep it as it is. Save it. Give the name. This is the collection. Okay. Create CRM user. Create CRM user. Okay. This is the collection. Save to Technways. This is the same here now. Okay. So we have a one get, we have a one create. Okay, let's use one delete API. So let's copy, which base the API is going to the same. Copy here, paste. Type is going to delete. And okay, do we have any delete API? So this one is the post, this one is the get. Yeah, this one is the delete user. Okay, so we have a delete. So let's try it out first whether it is working. So we created 14 and 15, two user ID. So let's firstly try whether it is coming from the database or not. So let's try it through the get only. Run this. Okay. So let the end, I think this. So this one is the 15. Okay, that we created from here, Ankit, and this is the Satyam. This one is the 14 that we recently created. So let's delete 14 one. 14 execute. Also where validation is there. What is saying? Invalid user ID. Okay. So the problem is like the ID and password have been updated. So I did not update it here. So let me just quickly update it. So get user details, ID, password the same. I need to is system admin. Okay, the password is admin. The password is admin. I think that will work. We will need to stop it. Okay, so delete we need to check. So we will put here, try it out. What we need to put? 14. Execute. 6 came in. It's a successful. Response is true. Means the 14 one is deleted. Now we can verify here whether 14 is present or not. Still earlier it was there, but after new response, you see after 13 it's a 14 is not here, only 15 is coming, means 14 is successfully deleted. So let's create delete here. What is the name? That API delete details by user ID. Okay, so API said delete user details by ID, and what the parameter we need to give? ID, and what is the value we are going to give? 15. Okay, so the same, you if you see the parameter we had given here, if you reset it, yes, see the ID we have given a 15 parameters, the same we need to give here. Okay, so we given ID 15, 14 already deleted, so we will try deletion on 15. So let's execute it. It is not. ID we given value 15, so I think this would work. For method not allowed, something is mismatching. Okay, so rather than giving here, how do we can give slash what the URL was created there, slash 14. Okay, so we can same way we can give here 15. Yeah, so this one is working. See here, true. Okay, okay, it means the 15 one is also deleted. So delete and true, and the 15 one is deleted. Okay, so let's run the, firstly let's save it. So we are delete user, delete user by ID. Okay, delete user details by ID. Which collection? Technways. Okay, save to Technways. So delete one is also created. So we tested with post API, we tested with delete API. We have seen the auto runner, like how the test cases are automatically getting executed. Okay, now moving to next what we have runner we have seen. Okay, yeah, that we already have seen, like how many are passed, how many are failed, what the status code is coming, that already shown you for the get API. Export, that I already have told you, like how you can export the collection. Okay, the version you already have seen. Environment, so how you can export the environment. Okay, so if we have an environments here, so I already have created 3 environments. So if we wanted to export this DS, okay, so click here on the DS, and we will be having here export. Okay, so here, from here we can export the environment. Okay, and monitor, what is monitor? Basically that I already have told in last video, but again I'm trying to repeat it. So monitor is basically for any API you can create a monitor. Like if we have a collection, so we can add a monitor here for this particular API. Okay, so what it will be doing, like it will be it will be observing like how the API is behaving, like how much the time it is taking in within fraction of second, or in a second, or in a 2 or 3 seconds, how many calls are getting sent, how many response are coming positive, how many are failing. So all type of observation we can do using this monitor. So this is also not kind of big thing. So you can see here the response time, the graph it will start creating once you like create this particular or enable this particular monitor. So see, now the monitor is running. Okay, so we did not get any call, so let's hit the get user detail. Okay, so this call is sent. Now see the monitor, if it is individual request. So refresh it. It is not taking individual, I think. Again, let's try. See, logs are here. Okay, so whatever the running, okay, so whatever the API is getting called, whatever the response is coming, whatever the behaves are coming, that you can all observe it here in a fraction of seconds. Like you need not to worry about like the time recording, all the things. You will be getting all the details here. Whatever the response, like this looks very much easier, like simple thing, but in case of production, it like becomes very much complicated. Like for the observing the API like in each second in each fraction of seconds, like it becomes difficult. Okay, so we can verify here. And what 6 failed test cases, 1 error across region, so that all we can see here. So basically in this way, like monitoring is the same way, like it keeps monitoring all the your collections, auto runners, or your APIs and all the things. Okay, is happening here inside the Postman. So you can create it monitoring as well for the API. In case you facing any issue, you can just tell me. I will try to help you out on that. Okay. So for development perspective, this much monitoring is not required, but QA perspective, it's a very much essential for load balancing and all the things. Okay. So what the next thing we can see? Fork. I already have told you how you can fork the collection and share with your colleagues. Monitoring, that I already have told you. So I think that was all the things that were remaining on a last video. So I think we have now completed with the Postman thing. So I have explained most of the features, most of the like things that we can include or we can like learn from the Postman. So you can go through the like first and second both videos, and definitely you will be having enough knowledge like working on the Postman, and how you can like debug the APIs, how you can create the automation test cases, how you can like create the environments, how you can uh, like fork it, how you can uh, create a global variable in a Postman. So all the things I have explained very well. So go on a first video, watch the first video, then again you can watch this, and you will definitely having some advantage on the Postman. Thank you so much for the watching. See you on the next video. Thank you.